Hey guys, how's it going? Today, the old Action Force versus G.I. Joe Classified. Controversy has reared its ugly head once more. In other words, not this shit again. Yes, this shit again. This time, this popped up on a Facebook page called Checkpoint Alpha. Now, to give you some context, Checkpoint Alpha back in the day was a G.I. Joe site. Back in the Joe versus Cobra, up to deep into the anniversary line days. I don't know if this is the same one, but the logo is pretty similar. And it makes me think they migrated over to Facebook, which, color me shocked. A lot of them did. I only knew of one before this, so yeah, it's kind of interesting to see that happen. So, yeah, why don't we take a look at this little post by Figure God. And at first I was like, you know, Figure God. Figure God. But then I was like, oh no, it's God. Like, you know, it's the Ugas situation. It was like, you know, the guy was born and mom went, God. Yeah.
I am an idiot.
Especially when you start getting deep into this and it's like, dude. This is not the first time these comparisons have come up, and some of these have come up multiple times. But, you know, you gotta laugh at it when you see it too. Because it's like, give me a fucking break.
Give me a break. Give me a break.
Alright, so let's take a look at these pictures individually. Of course, the first one is Chuckles versus Condor. This has been so documented. It's pathetic. And people who still use this one, they kind of look stupid. But, as we all know, Chuckles was based off of Magnum P.I. And Condor was based off of Daniel Craig, James Bond. Yeah, that's, I mean, I'm sorry, the original creators of Chuckles have admitted that he was based off of Magnum P.I. But some will never hear this because they're made of stupid.
You are made of stupid.
I've actually had people arguing that anyone wearing a Hawaiian shirt was imitating Chuckles. Now I want you to think about that for a minute. Chippendale and Rescue Rangers. I mean, apparently the Bradys were imitating Chuckles before he even existed. And wow, Elvis was way ahead of his time. It's not a one-to-one correlation, guys. I hate to break it to you. I mean, you're trying to argue that Daniel Craig was imitating Chuckles. No, he wasn't. But, I mean, it doesn't matter. Don Ho was imitating Chuckles. It doesn't matter because some people will not get out of that little box they're in and go, this is how it is.
I can't hear you.
No, it ain't, dude. Alright, and next up we have, this one always gets put up. I guess it's because it's the same person. Sergeant Slaughter versus Sergeant Slaughter. Oh wow, how different. Anyway, you know, this one is really an apples and oranges comparison. The Action Force one is a grizzled veteran. The G.I. Joe Classified one is a over-the-top cartoon character. Both are fine in their own way, but it's really hard to even compare these two because it's not the same thing. It's not saying the same thing. These are not the same kind of figures.
One of these things is not like the other.
But one thing I always notice is when this comparison comes up, nobody ever talks about the WWE Mattel figures in this. There's never in that comparison. Probably because Joe, you know, the Hasbros aren't even going to try to take on Mattel and make that a big deal. But for some reason, because Action Force is a smaller company, they think, oh, we can pick on that one. Woohoo! Yeah, it's not about, you know, the company. Because reasons. So, yeah, that one always cracks me up. I do get a chuckle out of that. Pun intended. Now I'm going to be brutally honest. I don't understand why this exists. Eclipse versus Shooter.
What?
I mean, you might have got more mileage out of Kill Switch. Kill Switch comes with a sniper rifle, as does Shooter, and the ethnicity is similar. I'm trying to say that very delicately, but I'm probably sounding stupid. Eclipse and Shooter, literally, there is nothing here that is similar. I mean, they have kind of brownish hair. You get a little more mileage out of Lady J and Eclipse because they have short brown hair. And then people go, oh yeah, they must be the same because they have short brown hair. MOSs are different and all that, but, still people want to make that connection. Or should I say Hasbro's want to make that connection. When it doesn't exist. And it's pretty moronic either way because Lady J or Shooter to Eclipse, it's what? Brown hair? Is that what you have? Oh no, 2 characters with brown hair. I mean, geez. Let's compare Lady J to Aubrey Plaza. You could technically compare Lady J to Jennifer Garner. I mean, hello, this can go a while.
I can do this all day.
Haley Atwell? I mean, seriously. If your criteria is brown hair, we got a lot of comparisons to do. And apparently every woman with brown hair is copying Lady J. Or Shooter. Take your pick. Because, only G.I. Joe is original. Nothing else. And comes in the big one. And we all know it. Serena and Pandora. This gets tossed around a lot. Most of the time we get the answer of, it's obvious.
They're the same picture.
Yet it isn't. Almost every iteration of Serena had pink hair. And this one even has a swappable hairpiece that is more akin to her original style. There's that. I mean, pink hair don't care. And Pandora's hair ain't pink. This is the first Serena to ever have the red fading into the blonde tips. Keeping in mind, she did not come out until well after Pandora was presented. We're talking months and months. Pandora's hair, I mean, that's not an uncommon hairstyle. I mean, it's not a common hairstyle either, so, you have that. But to say that's Serena, no. The only similarity they have is that hair color. And it's not even quite the same. But when you consider that Serena came out so much later than after Pandora was presented, you gotta ask yourself, who's copying who here? Now, at one point I actually heard some idiots say they were the same because they both sounded British. Now I've told this story before, but my grandmother lived in an Irish neighborhood. Go into an Irish neighborhood and tell the people there that they sound British. It will not go well. Now, I'm not sure if Australians might have a similar reaction, but I'd imagine it's not going to be a good one. Then we get to a head scratcher. Roadblock and rollout. How do I say this delicately? I mean, the only similarity is that their skin tone and the fact that they have bald heads and a goatee. Not an uncommon look. Just saying, not an uncommon look. Roadblock is at least 6 inches taller than Rollout's supposed to be. Their MOSs are different. As far as I'm aware, Rollout is not a gourmet chef.
I've got raw pasta standing up straight. Look, like a fucking thong left over from a fucking night out in Vegas.
So, yeah. You could have gotten a little more mileage out of Stalker and Rollout having more similarities. Because Stalker, at least, has a similar MOS to Rollout. When you're sitting there saying the 2 bald black guys look the same, I mean...
That's homophobic.
That's black.
That's racist.
Damn.
Now, if you really want to go out on that limb, I mean, just think about it. It's not a good look. I'm sorry. I'm just going to be very blunt. It's not a good look. It's not a hill worth dying on. Terry Crews would like a word. You know what I mean? And there's several other famous people who rock that look. And I'm sorry, this one is just boring. Cobra Trooper and the Urban Trooper. I mean, oh look, they wear blue and they wear balaclavas. The shade isn't even the same. I mean, seriously. Past color, these are miles away from each other. I mean, why didn't you just put up Beachhead and the Green Trooper? I mean, that would have been a equal comparison. Likewise with Firefly and the Urban Commando. I mean, because anybody wearing gray camo has to be copying Firefly. It's a Chuckles situation, you know. The gear is totally different. There's the gas mask head on the Urban Commando. I mean, there's a camo pattern. Oh, wow. Okay. I wonder, you know, if they'd say the same if the Urban Commando came in a lime green jumpsuit. And this one kind of, you know, to be a figure god, you didn't do your research. The 60th versus the Desert Trooper female. Not even close. And honestly, what you should have done was go for the infantry commando versus the 60th, since that's pretty much where Hasbro borrowed it from.
They're the same picture.
And the infantry commando came out a long time before 60th anniversary Trooper. But when I see this, I gotta say, there's not a lot of research going into this, is there? Because the female Trooper, while a nice figure, is not anything close to that style. And then finally, Steel Brigade versus Steel Corps. I think this one is always going to be because they're jealous that Hasbro gave up the name.
No dice. Not dice. Not dice. No, no. No dice, no dice.
That's the story. I mean, I always hated the original Steel Brigade design. It's that helmet. Sorry, that's me. But I really love the Action Force redesign. I think it just looks 100 times better. What makes this setup a little weird is they have the Desert Steel Brigade. Okay, there's plenty of pictures of the original Steel Brigade still floating around. Would have been a better comparison. Also, let's just be honest about something. The Steel Corps are the Oompa Loompa Troopers. They're short. They gave them too stubby of parts, and it looks ridiculous. Some people say, "Oh no, it's not that bad." Yeah, it's that bad. But you know, when I look at that and I see the Desert Trooper, I'm like, did you not Google there? Figure God or God? So there we are. It reared his ugly head again, and I just had to poke fun at it. It's just stupid. It always is. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. I'm sure I'm going to get comments about, oh no, the Praetorians are just like bats and all this crap. Like nobody's ever used robot troopers before and all that crap. I don't care. I enjoy my toys. Maybe you guys should enjoy them too. Quit trying to make comparisons that aren't fair and try to act like, you know, douchebags. See you later.